the business that when you're in a market by yourself, you sometimes go, I'm an orphan, there's no one, there's not a leader. And they said, until you can find a leader, you go ahead and be one. And so I had no choice back in 2008 when I started. There wasn't anybody close, hundreds of miles away, my sponsor, the leadership. And so I had to plug in at a distance on phone calls, on conference calls, and learn as much as I could. But I'll keep this very simple for all of you. You're going to hear a bunch of trainers tonight. They're going to do a great job. You're going to hear a bunch of trainers tomorrow. They're going to do a great job. You're going to get all these exciting announcements, and that's awesome. But at the end of the day, this business is about me being in front of you and you being in front of somebody. It's really that simple. When I look back at what I did in 2000, and I'll tell you 3 words. Here's what I did. Y'all write this down. Hard freaking work. That's what I did. Anybody telling you different is sharing an unintentional, probably. I wouldn't say they're sharing it intentionally, but they're lying to you. Because when you leave here this weekend, I want you to be excited, and I want you to increase your belief that, man, I am a part of the legacy company, and this thing's going to go whether I go with it or not. I need you to know that. So whether you decide to do it when you leave here, that's up to you, and shame on you. Lindsay and I talk about it all the time. Our kids, our 4 kids, have an advantage because they have Lindsay and myself, and we have a different mindset than 90+% of the parents out there, just like you. Shame on them if they don't go win. They have an expectation to go out and win in life because we know what we're teaching them, and we know what they know. They know good choices, and they know bad choices, and they know the choices to make. And I'm telling all of you, when you leave here today, you have an advantage. You have an advantage this weekend when you leave here, and people who are in Zija but they weren't here, they just don't know what they don't know. And the people that aren't in Zija, they definitely don't know what they don't know, but you know. So, Greg, the pressure is on you. You have to make that decision. 2008, every day, dude. Every day. Every day. Everybody say every day.
Every day.
Every day. I was in front of somebody, sharing my excitement, sharing my energy, sharing my passion. Because if you look at the greatest recruiter that ever lived, he said, follow me, 2 words. It wasn't what he said, it was the person behind the words. And so what you have to do is attract others to you by who you are. And if you're not that great now, get better, because you can. And that's one of the things I love about being around D, is he's always challenging me, he's always challenging others, because he finally challenged himself. Not that he wasn't great already, but to develop himself, to grow himself. And so with that energy and that growth, you're now sharing with somebody a solution to their problem, meeting their need versus you looking at how can they meet mine. Are you with me? And so I was in front of people sharing the plan, showing the plan. I was getting in front of people every single day. It's really that simple, D. That's one constant and consistent that I did every day. You can decide when you leave here, Mike, I'm going to do it or not. Second piece here. I'll finish right here. It's really this simple. I was in front of people. Home events, Starbucks, didn't matter. I'll come to you. Drop-ins, drop-bys. Will Weaver, he's a beast at that. He goes wherever he needs to. That's what I did. I was a teacher. I was a coach. Had a daughter. I was a triathlete, swim, soccer, run. I was busy just like everybody else. That was my advantage. See, some of you are looking at your situation and you're saying what I don't have. Oh, I'm at this disadvantage. Flip it. Flip the lie and change your perspective and say, this is what I do have. I'm in front of swimmers. I'm in front of runners. I'm in front of cyclists. I'm in front of teachers. I'm in front of parents, of which I coach. I'm in front of all these people, so what are you going to do about it? What are you all going to do about this? The last thing that I did every day is I plugged in. And what do you mean by that? I plugged into the leaders. And mine at the time was Mike Sims. He's a great mentor for all of us, right? He's a great leader. I plugged into Mike, and he taught from a distance. He wasn't holding my hand in my market. He was in Georgia. So he was a long way away. But what he did is he took a couple of minutes, and we didn't talk very long, because he has ADHD and he's all over. So for a couple of minutes, he shared with me, I maybe needed a course correction, or I had a question. He gave it to me, and I went to work. See, there's a lot of you trying to find answers when you need to be focusing on finding people. Because this business is about finding people. So you all make that decision. I'm going to get in front of people every day. I'm going to plug into D. I'm going to plug into John. I'm going to plug into Will. I'm going to plug into Jason West. I'm going to plug into all these rising leaders, Gary Scott. And there's so many, I'm going to lose you. So There's a ton of leaders in this room here, and you need to be plugging into them, and you need to be plugging your people into them. Shame on you if you don't. Here's why. The person who sponsored me a few months after me being in the company is somebody that Dee coached. It's somebody that I respect today. And over those first 3 months, he did his job. And what was his job? He plugged me in. Who did he plug me into? Mike Sims, the company calls. He taught me the system. It was him, not Mike. People don't understand my story. It wasn't Mike Sims who was in the trenches with me. It was my sponsor who was in. He was at a distance, though. It wasn't in my backyard. He was teaching me the process. The best thing he did is plug me into the process. Got me connected to Mike Sims, because you know what he did 3 months after I was in the business? Everybody say, what?
What?
He said, I need you and your top people to get on this special call. I got something to tell you. I said, what do you got to tell me? Tell me now. And he had a top earner from another company on the phone, recruiting us to another deal, trying to get us to jump ship. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And if he hadn't done his job on the front end, I wouldn't have been plugged into Mike Sims, and I wouldn't have had that belief level. And so I was able to text Mike, get Mike on the phone. He squashed him like a bug, verbally. I won't share with you what words he said. But because I was plugged in to the leadership, it didn't derail me and knock me off course. It didn't make me question the company. I questioned him, and he had to pay a price because he broke my trust. And he's still paying a price because I don't mention his name and don't acknowledge him. I do forgive him, though, and I do respect him. He's a good guy. He just made a mistake. Don't we all make mistakes? We're all going to mess up. We should forgive those people in which mess it. So what I'm telling you is you should be plugged into Dee, you should be plugged into John, you should be plugged into Will, you should be plugged into your leaders, and you should be plugging your people in every single day. If you don't do it, and here's why that's so important, if you don't do it, guess what your people's not going to do? They're not going to do it. Because people do what people see, not what people say. So are you being the example? Oh, I can take care of it, Dee. I'm just trying to ease your time and free your time up. I can handle it. I don't need to plug my new people into you or these other leaders. I'll take care of it. Well, what if you're sick? What if something happens? Now they're on their own, and guess what they're going to do? Oh, I don't want to, mess with your time. I'll do it on. And now you have people that are in La La Land on an island and don't have the support they need. Thus, you don't duplicate. I can't emphasize enough those two things. I was in front of people every day, and I was plugged in every day. Plugged into a call. I was plugged into a leader. I was plugging my people into a leader. And because of those two simple things, we're breaking it down real simple, those two things created a culture, a feeling of family. So when we gathered and did these things, everybody knew one another. Why? Because we were connecting one another on calls, maximizing our strength. Because you don't have all the tools to do this. You all as an organization, though, do. So make that decision. And I'm going to stop right there. I get too excited. But I'm so proud of this organization. I'm so proud of what you all are doing. I'm only here. I'm only here because Dee and the leaders asked me to. I'm being texted and asked to come to a lot. There's not enough time this weekend to go to all the different teams. But when Dee asked, I said yes. Why? Not because of you, because I don't know a lot of you, but I did it because of who Dee is. And that should excite you because you're a part of a very special organization, and you should take pride in the organization that challenges you to Dee Hutchins, because he is the man. And he introduced me to this company, so I'm forever indebted to him. But know he always has your best interest at heart, and I'm proud of all that you guys are doing. So thank you all for allowing me to have some time.